Alex Ansary here, September 18th in the year 2017. Just waking up this morning after getting some exercise and doing an earlier video. So, coming up on the official first day of fall here, and already starting to use the heater. I have a finite amount of propane, so I'm going to talk about supplies in a grid down situation. We can learn from these grid down situations where we're, for some people, without power. In the case of my own situation, without transportation or allies in this area. So it might as well be a grid down situation. Living unarmed with a very finite amount of resources and food. So there's a lot of things you can learn from a guy like me. Some of you may go off grid in the future. Some of you may have more resources. So I'm going to show you kind of how I'm doing it on the cheap. So there's of course the land payment for $250 a month. There is the internet bill for $50 a month. There's the cost of propane and the cost for gasoline to run the generator. Of course, I'm not able to get certain things if I can't get to town. So right now, it's kind of a prep situation, looking at what I have on hand and how long, for example, I can function without having to go into town or something to that effect. So we'll show where I'm at now with regards to basic food, basic tools, basic power, and also how things could be a little bit better. So this is basically an area where I've started to organize. And one of the things that I've been doing lately is cleaning up any little bit of trash I've had in the trash pit. This is the RV, which I consider the power station. RV is not running at the moment, but the solar panels are on top, as you're going to see in just a moment. So I got 400 watts of solar. I have plenty of solar. I'm lacking batteries. Extra batteries would be helpful. So there's the 400 watts of solar. Even with it flat and not at an angle, I'm still getting plenty of power. If I had an extra 100 watt solar panel for the winter to perch it at an angle, that would help. Not in the budget. This is a shovel. This is needed daily. This will be my second winter in this part of Colorado, and it gets a lot more snow than other parts of Colorado. So scraping the snow is a daily thing, and we get snow for about 5 months out of the year. So it's no joke to not only be snowed in, but what I'm doing, making money online, making videos on YouTube, and maybe not going to town for months on end. It's kind of an involved ordeal. Okay, so here, get a wider view. There's more garden potential beyond what you're seeing. So we'll climb down, take a look at the batteries. This is the power station, and I'm going to be more dependent on this than the generator because gas costs money, and I believe in being frugal and strategizing. So if it means less videos at night, that's fine. There's also times in which the computer and the internet don't need to run during the day, being that I no longer have that online job. So we go inside, and this provides secondary storage. So there's my wheat. Part of the food storage, there's a grinder somewhere else. I'm going to do a separate video on quinoa, but about 20 pounds of that. Okay, so you get the idea. Just a little bit of oatmeal. But oatmeal and pancake mix, I definitely could use a lot more of that. In this situation, not a literal grid down situation, but more or less training. Close friends in an emergency can send me a food box via UPS, or I can order something UPS and have, say, a big box of noodles, for example. Not these crappy ones. They're 4 for $1, but like the good Asian ones. So I ordered those last year on Amazon. And if someone adjusts to eating less food and they're not moving around a lot, and I'm also at higher elevation, there's something about that, right, where your body needs less. Your body needs less energy, your body needs less fuel. Like I said, if I'm not online all day looking at news, plus be less distracted by negative internet news, for example, if I have less time to be on the internet, that's more time for reading. Investing, I'm going to be investing in more rechargeable lanterns, so I can write next to them, read next to them. I can even record some videos with those little LED rechargeable lanterns with the Energizer AA. Also looking at maybe getting some rechargeable Ds. So expanding beyond just the acid batteries. So here we have the battery bank. And we have 3 connected. Right now, just 2 golf cart. Golf cart batteries are expensive. Some places are cheaper than others. There's a place where I got these in Colorado Springs or Pueblo. Okay, these are Crown deep cycle batteries. These were recommended. Every now and then I do connect a regular deep cycle battery with jumper cables. I definitely could do a lot more. This is, by the way, an extra sleeping space. So I wondered, looks like I had the light on here, whether I should sell the RV since I'm not using it. And I look at the RV as an extra sleeping space for others in an emergency situation. This basically is another shelter. The bathroom area has been cleaned out. It's not being used. So I wanted to no longer do that. So the RV is clean. It needs more cleaning, probably a day's worth of cleaning and for stuff to be taken out. We have extra food here, by the way, and some spices. Back here, we have another 5-pound package of quinoa. There's 10 pounds in the shed. And then, of course, more noodles over here. Right here was a gift from my friend John Burrows that visited the land. This is basically my seed kit now. So for next year, and we'll take a look at water in just a bit, then we'll go in the shed. I have extra seeds. Storage back here. I kind of have my closing amount here because I cleaned out the shed. And perhaps the old bathroom here, I can get maybe plastic containers and put all the stuff here. So this could be an extra sleeping space for an emergency. Certain friends may be heading this way in the event of an event. So we'll assess some property things here real quick, like resources, trees, fertile soil, legal to harvest rainwater in the state of Colorado. So having lots of water containers, somebody could harvest a lot of water, maybe minimize their trips to town. A lot of people grow marijuana in Colorado, but in a Sorrel situation, wouldn't food not be more important? So maybe somebody could get by with, for example, growing a certain amount of food with just harvesting the water that comes from the sky. So this was where I first started to grow, kind of as a test, but I got distracted with other things. So I want to show you this real quick. This is what I started last year to collect water. So for a garden, for example, and I'm going to keep digging this, this will provide water for a garden, lettuce garden, something to that effect. So I'm going to make that larger. We'll go over here. Now what I've done here is I made the mistake of buying a twin bed. They're not comfortable. Got my computer's doing some sunbathing. It's telling me it's low on battery power, despite the fact the sun's on it. Wouldn't that be cool if they actually made this like a panel? Wow, I'm sure they are working on that. Okay, so here's the extra water. I can definitely use more water. There's another one of those containers over there. So that's going to be right now for like cleaning. This is for boiled water. And this is safe for drinking. This was paid for water in town. And got some extra wood right there. So that is one more container there. Several propane containers. So I have 4 of those containers, and to refill 4 of those, I believe it was like $38 to refill 4 of those, which might be a lot cheaper where you're at. Those are some new shoes from a friend, because I can't even afford shoes. And so a friend that's been helping me for years made sure I had those in time. This is the modem. And the modem has some connector issues. So the tech guy should be out in a few days. This is the AC 1500 battery pack. So this will allow me, when it's charged, it takes about 8 hours, to be on the internet, uploading a video for about a half hour to an hour. I really could use several of these. They run for about $100 on eBay. Okay, this is the desk. I cleaned things out here just to change things up. Okay, change things up a little bit. Here we have my book collection. I'm not reading all the time, but having my books organized and not collapsing all over, there's something like symbolic about the books. that maybe people don't pick up on. It's not what books are there, it's that the books are organized and not all over the place. So there's a metaphor to that. A book on back to basics, some artwork. Trying to think more about video ideas. Thinking about keeping my jackets inside to avoid rain damage. And this is the heater. So behind this we have insulation. We have insulation behind that. And this was several $100s worth of insulation. And thinking about my goals here, new goals to establish. This had a whole different set of goals. Some of them never even came to fruition. These are some new stands because I'm thinking about doing new videos with some cloth over here. Something other than white and black. People have been recommending green screen. I'm definitely more open to the idea of green screen and creating my own reality in that sense than ever before. So put green screen on the list and let me give you a tour of the new upstairs. Okay, this is going to be a work in progress. But you see these shelves? This contains just all the side stuff that somebody might have in their drawer or next to their bed. And things are always moving. Sometimes I have things up here. Here's another piece of artwork. Here's a garden tool or something that is basically very effective by hand to cut into the scrub oak. Here's some Polaroid pictures when a friend visited with an old school Polaroid camera. Okay. A little bit of artwork that was done for the website. And let's go upstairs. Okay. So I had a mold issue. And that's been painted over. There's not a whole lot to see. But I can tell you there was that bed that wasn't comfortable, that was just taking up space over there. So yesterday, again, painted over here and clean all this out. And this is literally what I sleep on every night, just so people that know. This is it. I've adjusted to that. I can do a lot better with a real mattress. I don't know how much they sell these at Walmart, but this is foam. Okay, so on top of foam, I have a hard time sleeping also because of this. It's not always good. It seems like I have to be really tired. Started to think about reading more up here. Have my other computer, my Mac. This is my low power DVD player. So I'm using this as like an entertainment center. I've got this pointed north. Okay. So this is, as I sleep, I look at this. Okay, this can all be covered, but I've just pretty much adjusted to it. I didn't even perfectly staple this in. Right? But this is the area in which I've been sleeping. I've also thought that maybe I should also take time to sleep on the ground. You know, maybe me floating up in the air. I don't know. I bet you guys are going to have some ideas about that. Maybe I should mix things up and sleep in the RV sometimes. But it does seem like I'm in another world when I pass. Now this, when I sleep. This is about a $25 to $30 light on eBay. So when you notice that I'm doing a light or that I'm well lit here, I'm using one of these. So I can upgrade equipment. I'm not really looking for a new camera. Maybe another one of these would be cool, or another light. Green screen, USB microphone. So as far as production and things of that nature, that's what comes to mind when I'm able to do it. Going outside one more time. But I think that pretty much covers it. Now this area here is going to be insulated where it wasn't insulated last winter. Right here. Okay. Right there. And then you saw over there. So let me show you. Again, extra wood. And letting the rain, right? It actually rained like 10 times yesterday and then went back to sunshine. Rained 10 times yesterday and then went back to sunshine. They say if you're waiting on the weather to change in Colorado, wait 10 minutes. And so I've let nature, I'm letting nature clean my dishes. That's the back side. When I'm able to get the remaining parts, like the bottom area, that camp stove right there can be installed in this. But I haven't been able to get the help or the parts yet for that. So this, using a measuring tape, probably just a knife, I'm going to cut pieces to size, get a marker, cut them to size, and stick them in those spots to add for more insulation. In a worst case scenario, for example, so let's go back and conclude this video now that you've seen water, food, you've seen the little cooking area. There's the fire pit over here. In the event that I had an issue with, if I have an issue with the stove, we're going back to cooking over fires. So that's where that comes in. Plenty of firewood. You know, might have to shovel out some snow. It snows so often, just having some sort of an awning or whatever, it'll just get feet of snow. I would have to be up on top of that RV daily during the winter, getting the snow off the RV to prevent water damage. Let me sit down here. So yeah, this is basically a bed that I bought for $25 at the thrift store. It's basically gonna, I don't know what it's gonna turn into. Maybe it'll be the foundation for some sort of a ghetto home. But that pretty much concludes it. A situation where I'm basically, and in the winter, with all the snow, that's basically water if it's melted. So in theory, when it comes to just base animal survival, money aside, that's a whole different thing. I'm probably good for several months. So a lot of people just never have that experience to where they go somewhere for several months to at least fill that. A lot of people are prepping for like the, you know, the 72-hour thing or the several week thing. And I'm thinking long term though. I'm thinking about what about beyond those months and what will become of this town, you know, and will I have the right off-grid allies at that time? And I think some people or some things will just have to fall into place as they are. But this is my current setup. It's definitely in development, and I'll continue to narrate things as things progress. For now, I'm Alex Ansary signing off for September 18th in the year 2017.